We keeps it real, expressing how we feel. Whoa. So come on in and feel some tea. Trying to call it family. We're about relationships and review, making it fun and just for you. So go and God, let God go with you. It's time for Kourtney and Eddie.
I always put God first.
Welcome back, you guys. Hi, if you're brand new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you comment down below. My name is Kourtney, and my husband Eddie does not do this review with me, so I do this solo dolo by myself because it's more of a girl's girl. So you know what I'm saying? It's more of a girl's girl show, and I really and truly enjoy that part. And y'all, I know this was the finale, that this was the last episode of this season. Not sure if it's gonna be a season 2, but it was very good. It's very good. And if you don't know what I'm talking about what? Heart and Hustle Houston, you guys. It was a good run. It was a good show. So if you missed it, go back and watch. It's just 8 episodes, I think. And just go back and watch the whole entire season. If you're looking for something that is classy, something that gives a little Ayanla fix my life. And the reason I say that, because like I said before, every woman should be able to find themselves in this show somewhere. If it's not the entire woman or women, in this cast, you may be able to find yourself somewhere in it. So, it gave what it needed to give. And unfortunately, it's not getting the views or the airtime, that I think it rightfully deserves. So this was a good season. You definitely can learn a lot from this season. You definitely can laugh as well as cry. So it's, a lot of emotional turns, but it was good. Not messy. Not messy. Yeah, we needed something to cleanse our timeline from all the mess and the drama and the dramatics of especially Black women, and so I enjoyed this chef's kiss. Shout out to the producers, shout out to the cast. And some of the cast members have been, in my comment section and stuff, and just appreciate us for me for taking the time to watch the show, and you guys, of course, because it wouldn't be nothing without viewers. So I appreciate that fact for sure. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. And the name of it is called The Secret Is Out. Thank God, child. Ooh, child, thank God, honey, because y'all about to run me ragged, child. We want to know what Josh did, honey. So this is where we find out what Josh did, what he did. So like I said, if you're new, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you like this video, comment down below, and all the things. So okay, so the thing was Josh made some bad investments. Then I said that I'm tired of speculating. Did he cheat or did he steal your money? I said that, and because we women, women sleeping in a separate bedroom than their husband automatically think that the man cheated. That is an odd, especially if he had cheatation, what I'm saying, some little cheating going on before the actual wedding. So I'm thinking that's the residue of that's coming over into the marriage, so many years later. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. So he made some bad investments. He lost 100, she said, hundred to thousands, hundreds and thousands of dollars of, in the stock market. And she said she had to sell a house. I guess they couldn't afford to stay there anymore. And I noticed that she said she had to sell her house. I was like, was this a separate home or was it their home? So what she said, instead of her saying we had to sell our house, so did she have a separate house? I caught that. And she said she had to rebuild her savings back up. So production asked why it took you so long to say it. And she was like, she was embarrassed. And the fact that she was embarrassed staying for so long. Girl, we to be honest, and I don't know how y'all feel about it. I wish they would have discussed this in the first few episodes. And I think we could have deep dived a little bit more into why he made this decision, which I know they talked about it on the couch with the therapist, but I would have liked to see a little bit more. So I hate that they build it. Oh, this builder, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And then find out that it was some bad investments, which I'm not saying that that's not a thing. He didn't cheat, but heck, sometimes, child, with your money, child, it's just like cheating. Because at that point, he was doing some things that she wasn't privy to. And she said that he was day trading and she don't trust him. So for that reason, they're sleeping in separate bedrooms. And so Alaina said that they went um oh, she let the therapist know that they were not in a bad place financially. So she felt like he just wanted to be the breadwinner, because I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what Josh did before Elena came along. I think they got married young and all those things or whatever. So I don't know when her makeup empire just started, building. What was his gift and talent, his trade? What did he go to school for? All those things, and honestly, sometimes a man, their ego, their security, them being a man says, hey, I need to provide. I need to provide for my family. I need to provide for my wife. I need to be the breadwinner, at least bringing in something close to. And so it seems as though he was helping her build her business as well. Cause I guess he was I don't know, the makeup, he was intertwined in the makeup business, put it like that. Whether they built this out in the beginning together, it still was about Elena. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess in her mind, she thinking like he want to be the breadwinner, he want to bring in the money and stuff like that. So he was like, well, let me just get into day trading and invest. And that day trading, baby, don't work for everybody. And so I guess he started losing money. So he decided to take, in my mind, a big lump sum and just invest it, hoping for, you know, the big win. And it didn't work out like that. So Josh said that he wanted to, of course, make his family feel secure. And he really want his marriage. Like he want this. So, in that moment where you see where he's crying because he said he felt like he let himself down as well as his family. And, she embracing him and crying and stuff like that. Girl, I mean, okay, y'all built this up for that. I don't like the fact, and I'm gonna continue to say that I don't like the fact the way I don't know if it was production or her, probably production. You know what I'm saying? Having this build up to find out that he made some bad investments instead of just coming out with it upright because I didn't like the build up. Because in that, like I said, people start speculating. Who knows? Somebody could have been in his comments. I mean, you cheated on your wife. You know what I'm saying? And everybody starts spinning their own narrative of him cheating because that's what we banking on, you know what I'm saying? Because we thinking that most likely that's what could have happened, but that was not the case at all. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. So and we'll find out later. Well, I'll go ahead and say it just in case I forget. But Elena let the ladies know that she's not in love with him. I'm saying, girl, why you here? Why are you here still? You know what I'm saying? So in this, Elena is I mean, sorry, Labrina is hosting a getaway for the ladies. Now, y'all, when I'm thinking getaway, and I know this is a new upcoming show. I'm thinking on the airplane, and I'm thinking, or maybe they drove for hours and hours somewhere. I don't know. I don't even see where they gathered and went nowhere in a car. Maybe I missed it. I don't know, chat, but it seemed like they just went down the street. But that's just me, because in my mind, I think, okay, this is the stopping point to them going to the trip. But no, this was the trip. But anyway, so Labrina was telling Muneera that she looks adorable. Now I was gonna say, girl, watch it now, cause she got the adorables like a kid. So watch it, watch your word. But she didn't give her no pushback on that. I just noticed that. So Elena was saying that she feels good to take a girls trip. She's never taken one before. In her big grown age, she's never taken a girls trip before, and she's also made, some mention of, maybe Josh was controlling, so maybe that's something she couldn't do. Maybe some that, she would have got flack for and all that stuff, whatever. But yeah. Um, honestly, for me, have I taken a girls trip? I took one with a girl, not just girls. I tried to create a all girls trip, but you know how people fall off. Um, but I did have a girls trip. And Child, I won't have another one, not for real. Cause I ain't even like that one. To be honest, I did not like it. I was ready to go. Child, probably first day. Because when you take a trip with somebody or you bunk with somebody, you share a room, you start seeing how they really are. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be just like some people say when you dating somebody, if you take a trip with them somewhere, then you can kind of see how they really are. So yeah, I didn't like that, child. If I ever did a girls trip, I'm gonna get a room by myself. And when I'm ready to retire to my room, I'm going to go to my room. When I want to stop talking, I want to go to my room, watch TV, and stop talking. You know what I'm saying? Because, but okay, Latoria was also in this scene talking about, she went on a date with somebody and she noticed that dude had ugly feet and stuff. you know, um, and she was like, "Nope, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not gonna do that and be with nobody that got some ugly toes and stuff, child." Been there, done that. Don't do that, don't have that issue anymore. Because she was also saying too about, she don't like the fact, you pressing grapes with your feet and stuff. Now, if y'all watch Naomi, excuse me, if y'all watch Boaz and Ruth or Ruth and Boaz, however Tyler Perry spend it, they was doing that because it was geared around a vineyard and stuff like that, and they was taking the grapes and pressing with their feet and all that. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. First, I don't know if I like the feel of doing it. It may feel just like, make my flesh crawl doing that. And I'm saying, do they do that in real life? I know we done came a long way with technology, but don't they got something that can press them? Because I'm like, I don't want no feet in my grapes. I mean, wine. I don't want to eat feet. I don't want to eat them, drink them, whatever. Labrina also talks about the transition from her in the industry because Latoria was, she was just saying, "I'm proud of you." Labrina was just saying, "I'm proud of you for the things that you did, as far as coming out of one phase in your life into the next one." Because she said when she was in the hair industry for many years and she stepped out on faith and went into the spa industry, and she was like, she struggled for a long time. Even had I guess a dilapidated building to go into and stuff, and she was like, "This side of me that you see now, it took work." So once again, I love the transparency of these women because I'm 50 years old and I'm going into a different phase in my life. And right now, ooh, child, right now. So and I've been in this phase for almost a year. And so sometimes you go through things and you don't know where it's going to fully end up. But if you trust the process and you trust God and you're doing what you need to do and being in that, and you're in the right place and space in your life, things are gonna pan out for sure. So in this next one, you got where the ladies are, I think they was telling Ro, they like the way, she is pretty. I think this is the scene that they was talking about Latoria too. But they like she looks so pretty and stuff like that. And she has like this inner glow. And she was saying that, who she was 6 months ago is not who she is now. I guess who she was a few years ago is not who she is now. So she enjoyed that she's changing and transitioning. Yeah, I've always said like every year or 6 months, you still should not be that same person. It should be a level of growth. And it doesn't just defy age. You think that some people that are 50, 60, 70, they are in a level of maturity. They have seen a lot, they have wisdom. They don't. They don't. They have never allowed themselves to grow. And mature and evolve. I never wanted to stay in a place of stagnation. That's mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, career wise. I don't. This is why I used to, like I said, I was in the financial industry for 25 plus years. 25 plus years. But even in that industry, I would probably switch jobs probably 3 years. Now, one I stayed 10 years, child. I think it was just what God was taking me through because in them 10 years, honey, I was married, divorced, single, and married again in that time frame, in them 10 years. So I think it's just where I had to be. But I used to switch jobs every 3 years because I can't stand stagnation. Still in the same industry, but switching from different, institutions because Mm-mm, mm-mm. I promise you, I just don't see how certain people. Now, certain people, I understand you staying in that job because, hey, at the end of the day, you're gonna get a pension from it. You're gonna get, all these benefits and all that stuff, whatever. And it's just a good money making job. I get that, but I'm talking about some of these jobs where, and I know this is a low ball, but just say for instance that you making $10 an hour. You was making that 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and now you at 13 or 14. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of, no, it got to be where I am like fully evolving. I am growing, I'm learning. Yeah. I was in I was in a banking industry, for, like I said, for many years. And I got tired of being at one place, right? And so my thing was I was a IRA administrator. IRA. Trying to say it slow so you understand. So I was an IRA administrator. Before that, I worked in the IRA department. IRAs were so freaking complicated, back then. And so I was like, you know what? When I leave here, I'm not going to nothing that got to do with an IRA because I didn't understand it. And a lot of times people tend to shy away from or hate what they don't understand. And so, because in that, this institution was so big, we just did a portion of this. You do a portion of reconcilement, you do a portion of this, you do a portion of that. So. And so I was like, I finna do something. I'm tired of this. I was there some years or whatever, and I was like, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this no more. So I filled out 2 applications online. I guess it was online. Was it online back then? I think so. So I filled them out, and one was an IRA administrator. Imagine that. I don't even know. I was just taking my shoot my shot. And one was a to work at a gym. That was it. Well, guess who called me back? The IRA admin position. And I ended up getting that position, y'all. And even though the lady was like, well, you're not fully qualified because, she said, but we're going to give you the help, the training, everything that you need. And let me tell you something, that was the best decision of my life because I ended up loving working with IRAs, Roth, SEPs. Um, we didn't do simples a lot. Educations, all that stuff, whatever. But I ended up loving how it operates. I ended up loving, how you can, take, you know, um, Roth, tax-free money at the end, when it's time for, at 55 years old, 55 plus, something like that. So I ended up loving it. And I worked that for many years past that. And so this is what I'm saying. Sometimes you just got to take chances. You got to take chances, get out. And so I'm not a person when I feel like I'm stuck in something too long, I'm gonna pivot. I'm saying, God, what's next? I can't. This right here. So I just don't understand that some people that I was at those jobs, they still there. But everybody not the same. I'm one that got to go. I'm one that got to evolve. I'm one, and that's even in my personal life. That's in my like spiritual life. I got to. I thrive in transition and evolving. I'm not that girl that's gonna sit somewhere for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and just because I'm comfortable. To be honest, I enjoy sometimes being uncomfortable. So in the next scene you got where child Labrina done hired a private chef to host the ladies and everything, and Chloe is flirting with this man, honey. Chef Seven, honey. I actually thought that he was one of the head chefs at an influencer event that we just recently went to. If you're in Birmingham, Alabama, you can go to this restaurant called Sticks and Stones. And it's in Hoover, Alabama. It's in that new area that is over there by the Hoover Stadium. I think that's what it is. But anyway, so I thought that he was that chef. So I had to go and look him up and say, oh, he looked just like the head chef at that restaurant, but he's not. So, child, she done flirt with this man down, honey. Tell me, ooh, you look like you exercise. Ooh, honey, ooh, hey, 7, 7. Oh, girl, don't you talk about 7, child. He looked like a 10. So she was just giving that order business. So Alaina was saying, girl, uh, ain't you still with George? She was like, yeah, so what? Girl, we ain't married. Ain't no ring on this finger. So what they got to do with anything? And so Muneera was asking Alaina, okay, speaking of, how did your couples therapy go? And Elena said, well, some things were discussed and he ended up confessing to some things. And they was like, well, what's confession? What'd he do? Um, and he made some, bad investments. And so Latoria was just saying, in her confessional, they were business partners. So I can't imagine your business partner doing some things that cost you to sell your house and all this stuff, whatever, basically go broke. So Chloe said, well, what kind of bad investments, girl? Stocks, bonds, strippers, gambling, what? And she was like, why you gotta know all the details? I was like, Elena, girl, we tired of this little, I'm getting a little this, I'm getting a little them. I am with Chloe. I am with Chloe. What is the details, girl? Now, would I don't know about what I would verbally say it like Chloe saying it, but I definitely would be thinking it. You know what I'm saying? I definitely would be thinking like Chloe is probably my inner thoughts, but I like her because she just gonna say it off the rip. She ain't finna hold her, she ain't finna bite her tongue, she just finna say it. So she went on to say, exactly what the details was, that he was a day trader and he ended up, doing some losing the money. And so Rose said, oh, that makes sense, child. I see why they sleeping in separate beds, honey. Because a man that take your money, he got to get out. He got to get out. I'm surprised he even there in the house because I will put him out. So Elena said that that's when she revealed that she's not in love with him, and he was like, what? You're not in love with him? Why y'all still there? That don't make no sense, to me. But Chloe said it makes sense because now I can see the distance between y'all two. I can see, y'all not why y'all not having sex, why y'all sleeping in separate bedrooms. And I was saying, well, Elena, why you was it Chloe in the beginning so much smoke about, oh, Josh fine, Josh, he and Chloe's like, he look all right, like, what I'm saying? He ain't my kind of fine and stuff like that. So why you made a big deal about it, child? You not even in love. You have love for him, but you're not in love with him. That makes perfect sense. So I'm with the other ladies. Why you still there? What are you trying to rekindle or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to get your finances together, child, so you can leave? Like, what's the deal? Because if you're not in love with him, but that's eye opening because a lot of women, even in marriage, don't even realize they're no longer in love with their mate. I did that in my first marriage. I didn't know that I ain't a child in my first marriage. Maybe I probably fell out of love years later. I'm not gonna even lie. I don't even know when. But yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that that's something that probably should be evaluated. That I was no longer in love with, my spouse at that time. And but that's a good observation of Elena that she realized that. And to me, that's big because now you need to move forward by not being with this man. By not being with this man. And if you don't watch the end, I just go ahead and tell you. Nah, I'll wait till the end, Chad, too. Because Chloe ended up, if you don't watch the show, Elena ended up saying more. But Muneera was saying, well, I'm glad you revealed all that stuff or whatever, because you've been carrying a dark cloud for a while. And the other was like, yeah, they agreed. And Elena was like, dark cloud. Like, why you gotta say dark cloud? She said, I'm just saying, it was a dark cloud. I felt the energy, the negative energy and stuff. And Chloe was like, yeah, girl's a dark cloud, honey. It was a dark cloud. And I think Ro was just saying, girl, it was even hard for me to talk to you, meaning that I can sense your energy, where you were, you're not in a good headspace. And I didn't want you to basically, I guess, bite my head off for saying something. So I didn't know how to approach you. And I think that that was eye opening for Elena, but I also felt like in that moment she was feeling attacked by the women because they were just speaking their truth about what they noticed about her. And but yeah, even Manir was like, girl, even when you call me, it's like you're calling me with negativity and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like the dark cloud comment. I didn't like the negative energy comment from Manir. But I don't believe by no means was it malicious or anything like that. So the next day they all wake up, refreshed and all that stuff, whatever. So they're having breakfast. And Latoya just saying, last night it was a lot. The words dark cloud was thrown around and stuff like that. And Elena said, yeah, I don't like that dark cloud. Why it had to be a dark cloud? And Chloe was like, girl, this because you do care a dark cloud. And Elena said to Muneera, when I was going through all the stuff I was going through, you didn't check on me as much, and I just don't find you to be a good friend like that. And Muneera was like, girl, what? I checked on you all the time. Like now, if you expect me to pick up that phone every day and call you, she said, no, I don't. She said, but I just don't feel like you checked on me. She said, girl, I know details about you. You know details about me. I remember when your father passed away, I was there for you. I called you. We had, conversations and everything. And Manir was just like, me, I can't take all that negative energy. And she was like, oh, excuse me. Negative energy from my friend. I'm just calling you as a friend to just tell you what's going on in my life, and you calling it negative. So Elena was taken back by that. Amir was just saying that um she said that a lot of times Elena gets defensive, you know, in situations, and you are taking the word dark cloud, bad energy, and you're focusing on that. But that's not just what I'm saying. I'm just talking about everything as a whole. Stop focusing on that. And Elena was cutting her off. Chloe went to the refrigerator. She said, and stop cutting her off. It was so funny because Chloe is my inner voice child. I wouldn't necessarily say a lot of stuff. I'm not going to be that verbal because I know people are so sensitive in their feelings and all that stuff, whatever. But Chloe don't care, Chad. Chloe don't care, honey. She gonna say it, baby. If it's on the tip of her tongue, it's coming out. And some people like that. You just have to respect people for who they are. So let's see. Elena was just telling Manir to bring it down, and Manir continued to talk in the tone that she had before. I'm saying, Elena, bring what down? Calm down, bring it down. Girl, she ain't even brought it up. You know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't even her voice didn't elevate or anything like that. And I just don't like that Elena was so deflecting. She was getting so offended. She calling Munir a bad friend and all that stuff, whatever, just because Munir was just calling her out on the way she feel and felt. And Elaine was just saying that, she don't like the fact that her close friend would ever say that she had a dark cloud and, because she would feel like a burden. Because that makes her feel like a burden. And Munir said, girl, you know my heart. And Elaine was like, girl, no, I don't. And Munir just walks off. And let me say, I do get it. I don't think I would ever call a friend and say, girl, I get tired of you calling me with that negativity, child. Or, oh my gosh, you've been having such a dark cloud. I don't think I would ever use those words. I don't. But I don't think that Munir was being malicious either. She was just saying those words, dark cloud, bad energy, all that stuff, whatever. And I just think that, Elena just couldn't take it. So I didn't like that Elena was not, accepting it, and she started pointing fingers and deflecting. And y'all, I hate when people do this. When you have a conversation with people, right? And instead of them owning their own feelings in that moment, then they find ways to, oh, stop raising your voice. Oh, you ain't got no good heart. Oh, then they start picking and poking on you because they're mad at the situation in itself. You know what I'm saying? They're mad that you are saying these things about them. And so now they need some little kindergarten stuff to poke at you. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that with a passion. You know what I'm saying? I pride myself on not doing it to other people when I'm in a conversation. If I done something to you, I want to apologize, but then you want to bring in Sue, Sally, Kim, and everybody else's opinion about me, or you want to go back and something I did 2 years ago, 2 months ago, 2 weeks ago, and bring that into the equation when none of that stuff should be in the equation. We talking about this particular moment. So, that to me is what Elena was doing because she felt attacked. And because she felt attacked, she had to react. And she just reacted to me in a very immature way. So I would say I like the way Elena dressed, but I think she would probably be my least favorite on here, to be honest. And that's not a dig. because all these ladies are freaking amazing, for real, from what I saw, freaking amazing. And that just wouldn't be a dig. It's just as far as where she is emotionally or mature wise, she would not be my least favorite. I mean, she would be my least favorite. So Muneera walks off, like I said, and Alaina goes and talks to her. And y'all, this where the cows was like, child, let me get in on this conversation. Child. Y'all over here in our pasture, child. So let me find out what y'all talking about, honey. So it's the way, child, she would look at so funny. So as she was going to talk to her and stuff, and she was just saying that, telling Muneera, girl, I know you love me. No, she was telling Muneera, girl, I love you. She said, I don't. She said, I don't understand that. And let me tell you this whole conversation, y'all. It was just so freaking grown folks, mature women that are having a good conversation, y'all. It felt so refreshing. It wasn't, to me, scripted. It wasn't for television. It wasn't, you know what, we're going to get past this for the sake of the cameras. It just felt so freaking mature. And I like Muneera because she's so mature. Now I know she had her issues with the, calling cutesy and all that stuff, whatever. But that's past trauma that she realized that she was holding on to. But I like this conversation because it's so mature because she wasn't allowing Alaina to say, girl, I love you. Because when a person say, I love you, then they want you to erase what just happened. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to soften it so that you can, come back to the place where we were again. But Manir was like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand a person that can say, oh, girl, I love you, but also say, I don't know your heart. Say, come on. Y'all can't see my finger, but I'm saying clock it. Because at that moment, Manir was calling out bad behavior and bad wording. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're confusing the situation. And how many people do that? Y'all, I want to be so freaking conscious of the stuff that I do to other people, because a lot of times we operate in manipulative behavior and we don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? We will say, just say for instance, argument take place and y'all don't talk for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Friend, foe, family, whatever. Y'all don't talk for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they on vacation, or all of a sudden they somewhere and they, oh girl, look, and you don't remember our conversation 2 weeks ago. So you're gonna, and see, I'm not that girl. I am not that girl. And I'm gonna tell y'all a former friend at that time. She got mad at me because I was, and I wish we could have had grown folks conversation like this, y'all. I mean, I'm down for it. I'm down for real grown for, even if you calling out me, I will put my little feelings together. I will go evaluate what you said. I will go to God. I said, God, is this me? Is this? And I will search my own self and find and see if that resonates with me. If I really and truly act like that. So, because a lot of times people just want to call out some just because you call that they stuff, and what they're saying is not facts. They just want to hurt you. So in this conversation, what I'm saying, I text a friend. I didn't like the way the she treated me in that moment. I let her know that, and she just pretty much got mad, child. Got mad, what I'm saying? Said that she sorry for even friending me or even having me as a friend. It was something very harsh. And child, we didn't even have to break up over the friendship of it. You know what I'm saying? I was just expressing my feelings in that moment. And, and we ended up breaking up over the friendship, right? And it was some years, like we had been friends for years. And it hurt me. I cried. I did my little spiel and all that stuff, but then I moved on. And I wasn't finna chase nobody, especially when you say, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying, that I even friended you and all that stuff. Like, no, I'm not finna recover from that. No, no. So it probably was some months later that she inboxed me and invited us, me and my husband, to an event for her husband. And I was like, do she not know the last conversation we had was very volatile? Because it was a lot of words that were said, like very volatile and stuff like that. Like, I'm no. We would have to go back, revisit that last conversation. We would have to talk it out. We would have to hash it out. And because I'm not doing fake, I'm not dancing over nothing fake. I'm not finna have this whole distance between, and it's like, you know what you did. You know, I'm not gonna do that. Let's go and rehash what we did last year, months ago. Let's deal with that before we can move forward. And I think a lot of people just, that's why people be like, I remember what you did, da, da, da," because why? They didn't resolve it. Like, I'm not going to be friends in a relationship, family, nobody that has done something. And now we got to move forward like it didn't happen. No, we're going to revisit that. No, we're going to have a conversation. And if we don't ever have a conversation, we're no longer friends, we're no longer whatever, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I know how to forgive, absolutely, and move forward. But I'm not going to move forward with you if we haven't resolved the last conversation or the last fuss, the last fight. Yeah, that's why. I'm sorry if I screamed in your ear. That's why this conversation was so good, in my opinion, because Muneera stood on business. She did. She did. But yeah. So that's when Muneera was like, girl, I understand. You said, honey, I don't even, you don't know my heart. And you absolutely do. And so in the confession, Muneera was just like, Alaina gets upset. She starts saying a lot of stuff out of pocket in that moment, which that's probably the way she feels. You know what I'm saying? That reveals her true heart. And I absolutely agree with her. You know what I'm saying? When people say a lot of stuff, especially out of anger, that's how they feel. I'm like, oh, child, you've been feeling like this about me. Okay. You just needed to get it all out. And to me, that's what happened. So they ended up making up in this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff was said back and forth. But Alaina was just saying, I didn't like the comment about the dark cloud. I didn't like the comment about the negativity and stuff like that. And to me, like I said, I don't think Muneera meant anything malicious by it. I just think that's just the way that she communicates. You know what I'm saying? People communicate on all different levels. You have people that have dealt with trauma or have healed, know how to articulate their words, like, you know what I'm saying, when they go to therapy. And Alaina doesn't, to me, know how to articulate well. Muneera knows how to articulate well, even though her articulation offended Alaina, which is why you have to know your friends and you have to know that some of them are sensitive to others. What's amazing to me is that people that are so freaking sensitive, they can spew out everything, blah, 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 be flipping at the mouth, tell the truth and all that stuff. But when you come to them, oh my gosh, they're so sensitive. They're crying. They're emotional. They can't take it. I was like, but you the one that's always giving. Okay. So, honey, let's move on, chat, because I know this video done been too long. So, in this moment, which I absolutely love, this is why I said I love Labrina. Now, I don't know these people that love him like that, but I just love, her radiance. Because she's so like in tune, man. She's so in tune, and she's just such a giver. So, Labrina is giving the ladies gifts, and she's giving them flowers. She's giving them flowers. She's giving them flowers. I was going to say something, but I won't. It was personal, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna say that. But anyway, so she gives Muneera white flowers, and she was saying because she has been through a lot and now she has her peace. She's given Alaina colorful flowers because this is a new beginning for her. She's given Latoria orange flowers because she now has the confidence that she now needs. She's giving Chloe yellow flowers, yellow, because of forgiveness, and just basically saying forgive yourself for the past, your past, the past mistakes, the past era. She gave Ro red flowers, but also some white in there, because she's now embracing loving herself. Now, Latoria, and I love, see, this is why I love this show, y'all. This is why I love this show. When I say a girl's girl, this was a girl's show, period. Whether you agree or disagree, and that's fine because you're going to have those disagreements, and you should, because that builds your friendship, your relationship with whomever. So Latoria was like, well, girl, you done gave us all flowers now. I'm giving you one of my flowers. And the other ladies did so as well. Each one gave a flower to Labrina, which is in the middle, to Labrina because of the things that she has done for them. You know what I'm saying? And I can see this whole show basically. Child, was it hosted by Labrina? They done went to her ranch. She did this. She did a lot. She did a lot. But um she was just saying because of the things that you have done for us. So I'm giving you one of my flowers. And all the ladies did so. And Labrina Latoria said, because I'm sorry if I got the names all mixed up, y'all. Because Latoria, which is right here, she said, because sometimes the person that's always doing the giving, they're not on the receiving end. I was like, y'all make this right here make me want to hit the desk because I find myself in that. I've always, and I can't say always, but probably a lot of my adult years, I have been such a giver, and I haven't been much of a receiver. You know what I'm saying? So when I do receive and give, I take, baby, I take it. I don't say, oh, keep it, because I know that person needs to be blessed as well. So I do take it, and I do appreciate when I am given something, because it's not. I'm something outside of my spouse. It's not very often that I'm given a lot, and I've given a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I like that Latoria noticed that and paid attention to it. And Labrina face is full of water, and they're all saying that you minister to women. This is your calling. Now we're giving back to you. Like, can we get a round of applause for being a girl's girl? You know what I'm saying? Paying attention, not always being the person to receive, but actually giving as well. That's so freaking important in a relationship as well as a friendship. Dang it, you got so many selfish people that are in relationships and friendships, and they love to receive from the other person. I don't care if you are friends with a freaking millionaire. Well, I don't know what to give them. You'll find it. You'll find it. You'll find what makes them happy. I don't care if it's just taking them on a day date to get ice cream. I don't care if it's, hey, you ain't driving. You always driving. Get in the car, girl. I'm driving this whole weekend or this whole trip. Don't you lift a finger. I don't care if it's giving a, hey, I know, girl, you love massages. I don't care. I do not find a way to be a blessing to your friend or to your spouse, whatever it is. When I'm in friendship with somebody, let me tell you what I do. I pay attention. I pay attention what they like. I pay attention to what they don't like, but especially what they like. If it's ice cream or if it's doing stuff for their grandchild or whatever it is, I'm going to pay attention to the very small details because I freaking care. So when your birthday or Christmas or whatever gift I give you rolls around, that gift will be significant and very important to you because that's how much I want to be in tune with people in my life. I don't like to just give money or something, some little generic gift. I like to give very personal gifts. So at the end, y'all, it gave us an update of where Labrina is. Labrina is expanding her spa. Congratulations to her because that spa look freaking amazing. And her son is back full time at home with them, and also she's upgraded her 5-acre home to 50 acres. Come on now, get with it. I mean, get with it. So she's selling her home and she's moving to 50 acres. Y'all, child, can we all go to Labrina Place, honey, and just child lay on the grass, honey? Latoria has decided to, of course, we know, step away from, the entertainment business, and she's desiring to be a mom and adopt a child soon, and of course, find her Mr. Right. I don't know if it's gonna be in that order or not, but kudos to her. Muneera, she is continue to be an influencer, and her and Alaina are still on rocket ground, child. So, I think just Alaina just. Child, she probably the person that hold grudges, ain't it? She probably hold grudges. She probably do. Especially now, because when stuff aired in, the viewers and the commenters, they got a lot to say too. Chloe is still with Jordan, honey. And look like they may be having wedding bells soon, but I am so surprised that her son has not met Jordan yet. That's very surprising. Even though they probably said it on the show, but it's still surprising that I'm sure that they updated and got these updates, you know what I'm saying, recently from these people, but Okay. Ro is she ended the relationship with the basketball player, off and on, and she's embracing her soft girl era. Okay, I love me a soft girl era, child. And I don't struggle, work, did all those things. And she is a restaurant consultant, high end restaurant consultant. Now, as far as Elena, she said that her makeup lounge is blowing up, it's successful, and Josh moved out. That's what we wanted to hear, Chad. He moved out, honey. Either he moved out by choice or he moved out by force because the girl said she ain't in love with him no more. And hopefully she told him that because I'm quite sure he probably didn't know that. He probably wouldn't have tried to work on this marriage because, like Muneera said, well, you can fall back in love with somebody. It'll take a lot of work. And if Alaina just don't trust him like that, then girl, why is we I'm sorry. I probably took myself out the thing. I'm back. So that was the end of that. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. But this was a good season. Y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all feel about this season. And if you haven't watched, go back and watch. You know what I'm saying? It's a good, just chill day. You can watch it like it was a Netflix series or something like that. Wherever you can find it, child. Well, it's still in my DVR, but wherever you can find it. But I will see you guys on the next video. We will be doing, it may just be me, but more than likely we'll be doing Love is Blind. And I heard the Married at First Sight is coming on by the end of October. That is not confirmed. And what else you got? You got Bell Collective coming back, and then you got the Braxton's show. So I will see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to go with God and let God go with you. And always put God first.